2012 that worked on the language. I was a member of GBHEM, and the language of the superintendent as missional strategist came out of that work. It is something of a shift from the DS as a pastor to pastors, and is more conscious of the relationship between the clergy and the mission field. And so to me, that's one of the key differences, that you pay attention to not just as we've heard here, is the church satisfied with the pastor, is the pastor satisfied with the church, but what's happening in the mission field around the church, and how is the church connected to the mission field. And so missional strategists really sees their region. Say our friend Derwin Fauché is in the larger Tallahassee region, so he has a lot of rural churches, but he also has Florida State University, very strong campus ministry. The hot spot for young adults is right around the FSU, and so as missional strategist, he needs to think about how's this campus ministry doing, how are the churches engaging with that, and then how are the rural churches doing. And so really it's a very exciting position. I was a superintendent for about a year and a half. My area was the 7 western counties of North Carolina. So I had Lake Junaluska, I had the Highlands and Cashers and Cherokee and Murphy and small towns, and again trying to help churches to engage with their mission fields. And I would just say also that we do not have an unlimited amount of time or money or energy. And so superintendents really must kind of align their resources so that they're using their time wisely, so that they're helping churches to use their money wisely, and to try to kind of get into alignment with how does this meeting help the church. And so Russ Ritchie, who taught at Candler, talked about the charge conference, and I think the charge conference is something there's a lot of experimentation with. But one big question related to the charge conference is the question: how's this church engaging with this mission field? Who is my neighbor, and who is our neighbor as a church? And so it is true that many cabinets have persons who started before 2012, before this shift. And I would say, in my experience, some people find that a difficult transition to make. They are more wired to be a pastor than pastors, and that's important. Compassion ministry is important, but some of that can happen in covenant groups and support groups, and some very effective superintendents set up systems of small groups of clergy. And in our denomination, we've been reducing the number of districts, and it's interesting. The general church has stayed about the same size. The local church is changing, but a lot of that has remained similar. But our conferences have really reduced numbers of DSs. Where I came from, Western North Carolina, went from 15 to 8. Florida in 2004 went from 14 to 9. So obviously that changes the role of a superintendent. And we're still living into that. And I think the charge conference, the main way it shifted in Florida was it just meant superintendents didn't do all the charge conferences. But otherwise, a lot of it has stayed the same. And so I think we're still living into to that. I also would say strategic thinking. I don't know if you've done work with a strength finder. We have, our cabinet has, and some people just strategists. Strategic thinking is more of a strength. For others, it's not. And I think so. It's just to build around yourself people who are strategic, in their thinking. So anyway, those are just some thoughts.